Hey everyone, here in Australia we're going to have the new year coming in pretty much exactly 12 hours from now. It's midday and I want to talk about goals. I've been doing goals for ages with people, with myself in particular. Now there's been a few threads and I just want to talk into it before people go and set goals, just to give them a little bit more depth around the idea. Now, I want to do this real quick. I want to try to do this in less than 5 minutes because normally this would take me 45 minutes to do. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm just going to get up to goals and speak into that. So let's get into it. Now, most people, as I mentioned in my intro, I come from construction, commercial construction. I've been around people. I've been around the self-development space for 20 years, but my bread and butter came from building big shit, really big ass stuff. So my model is, I just drew this up really, really quickly and for the sake of this video. Now, you can see it comes in 3 parts. We've got the basement, the foundations basically. We've got the core, and then we've got the penthouse. Most people, when they're setting goals without substance, without why they're setting the goals. They're comparing or they're floozy. Where I go with this is most people want to move up into the penthouse of life. And before too long, they crash. They want the fast cars, the fast food, the fast fashion, the fast results. Why? Like, where do we see this? You know, I'll give you a good example. Crypto. Like, I've got money in crypto. Yeah, it's all good. If I lose it, I'll lose it. I don't care. I'm in it for the long game. People invested all their superannuation in crypto. Or young kids put all their money in it. And now they're fucked. Yeah, they're like the crash has come. They don't have another source of income to keep them going. They've lost big. The building collapsed. Straight from the penthouse, they're back bloody down in the basement and they don't know where to build from there. Right? We see this in mental health, we see this in emotional health, we see it in depression, we see it in all kinds of things, and we see it also in suicide rates out there. People don't build upon themselves. Now, we also see it in broken marriages, friendships, relationships, business opportunities. Like I said, I'm doing this, I'm not going to edit it, so I'm not going to take that phone call either. This is just done quickly for the group. So they end up, like, people move out of the penthouse, they move back home. They move out onto the street, they move wherever. So this is why it's really important to understand where your goals are coming from. Quack, quack. Now, what we've done here, we've broken it up, like I said, into 3 parts. Let's get into it. First, we've got our foundation. We start off with the values. Now, what your values are. Because if you're not serving your values, you're serving somebody else's. Plain and simple. Now, the thing is to discover your values. Don't go read a book and say, oh, that'll be good and that'll be good, because you're no better off than most people out there who are building on dumb shit. So understand what your values are, your own terms and conditions. Most people out there, and they scroll, they get the iPhone update and it comes up with 6,486 pages and they turn around and they say, I accept, I agree. And then they complain. This is bullshit, my phone's being tracked. Or, this update doesn't work for me. But don't complain, you agreed. See, most people don't discover their values, which become their own terms and conditions, their own rule book, their own direction, really. So where I go with that is once you discover them, you start serving them. There's a difference between societal values, corporate values, religious values, family values. Yes, no dramas, but once you discover your own core values, you can map them over the top of things. Stay in the context of goals here as well, guys. Once you map them over the top, you can now build forward. Or you can turn around and say, doesn't work for me, I'm out of here. Now we look at beliefs. Most people have a shit belief system, right? They've got bullshit stories running on in their heads, telling themselves that they can't do this, they don't want to do this, etc., etc. Right? But once you understand your values, you start challenging that. You say, hold on a second, what stories do I now need to adopt to these values in order for me to achieve things? Remember, goals. Goals in the macro, in the micro, we're just playing with it as we move up. So we change our beliefs. Beliefs are easy to change. Values are not. Unless you've done lots and lots and lots of work, beliefs are. Just like flicking a light switch. Which beliefs are serving my values, which are not. Next, we have health and wellness. Right? Wellness, so important. What fills your tank? Like me, my values are autonomy, to be challenged. Like I'm a bit of an abrasive person, so I need to do hard things. My way of meditating is to go and get lost in the bush for a couple of days. Like I can't sit there and go, I can. That's a story, right? But it doesn't fill my tank. So understand what fills your tank. Build goals around that. Next is communication. Boom, we're out of the foundations now. We're out of the basement. We're up into the core. Communication. Welcome world, here I am. You're communicating powerfully. You've got some self-esteem. You've got some confidence around you and about you because you are now aligned with yourself. You're discovering yourself. Now after communication, by the way, communication isn't just about how we speak, it's what we are speaking. How we are speaking, resolving, collaborating, cooperating, building trust, all of these things to ourselves and to others. Now we move up into relationships. Boom. Right? Big goals around that. Now people start saying, you've changed. Yeah, motherfucker, I have. I've been working on myself and I'm discovering myself and I feel really, really, really good about myself. So how can I help you? Relationships, we nurture them. They're all around us. Here in this online community, you guys are now an environment and relationships I'm going to build within it. And I've got my real relationships. I'm more of an out there person with people. I'm a people person. So this is all new for me now, this online kind of stuff. So I've got to learn how to nurture and create new relationships, while talking to a freaking camera. Now, environment. We've all heard that you are the sum of the 5 people you hang around the most. Fuck yeah. So true, it's not funny. I'm a high school dropout that hung out with bums. I was a bum. Plain and simple. It wasn't until I started developing this kind of stuff, in retrospect, I realised, hold on a second, look at the environment changes I've done. Like I just touched on now, a goal was for me to go online and build a presence because, hey, it's hard work doing one-on-one stuff and building communities and doing the workshops I've been doing and getting a little bit of a fan base amongst my community. I love it. It's what turns me on, but it's not going to get me there. And I want to get there. So, hey, I'm in this environment. Welcome to Skool. Next, finances. Last module of the core. Finances are so important. Why do you want to become rich? Because your brother's rich? Because your neighbour? Because you follow some bloke on frickin' Instagram or some chick on Instagram and some foundationless goal to get in something. You want the fast cars, blah, blah, blah. Good, get the fast cars. Are they aligned to you? That's all good. That's a payoff. But most people know fuck all about money. If they did, they would have pulled all their money out of crypto before it crashed. All right, so they would have seen the signs. So don't underestimate the power of learning the boring shit about money because it can get quite sexy. I like to make it sexy because if I'm not having fun, I'm not playing. That's another big value of mine. Fun. That phone won't bloody stop now. Anyway, but I've got a goal. I've got a goal to do this video in one take, get it done, go and enjoy New Year's Eve. Finances, pay yourself first. The power of compounding interest, creating buckets, getting good debt, understanding debt. Once you start understanding this, you're communicating it well. It's aligned to your values, and you've got a strong belief system around it, and your behaviours. I think I missed the behaviours module because your behaviours obviously adapt to all this kind of stuff. You start realising that hold on a second, this is all making sense to me because I am true to me. And now I want to become wealthy for these reasons. Not for those reasons, for these reasons. This is what it means to me. I guarantee you will start chasing different things when you start going inwards. And then we move up into the penthouse. Now we go outwards. Yeah? See how it's meant to be done? You're meant to get dirty in the basement. The basement is where the mud is, where the rust is, where you cut yourself, where it's dark, where it's dingy. I've built countless commercial construction sites, high-rise stuff over the years, and up to 20% of the cost is in the basement. People don't see it. It's all underground. Yeah, it's like the iceberg analogy they use. You got to get dirty. You got to go inside to then go outside. Now we're up in the penthouse. Goals. Now look where your goals are coming from. Yeah, they're coming from self. They're your goals. And when you're communicating them powerfully, I'm now aligned to your goals. Like I want to help you because I can feel that they're important to you. Because remember, it's sitting on top of all these things. When you've got your finances in order, after you've nurtured an environment, through the relationships you've created, through communicating powerfully to people, to enroll them, to get them on board. You know, you're filling your tank, or your behaviours are adapted to that. Your behavioural changes in the way you're being because of your wellness and health and the practices you've instilled to fill your cup, and the belief system you've changed because of the values that drive you. Tell me you're not gonna have different goals, fruitful goals, aligned goals. And then also tell me that I won't support you if I feel that coming out of you, rather than, you know, I want to make $3 million next year. You know, that's not a goal. Jeez, that's prostitution at a very high hourly rate. Yeah, no, I want to get 100 clients this year with a minimum charge of whatever, 100 grand. I'm just making those numbers up. But you know what I mean? Like, have goals that are connected, not, oh yeah, you know, I want to make $1 million next year. Yeah, well, inflation goes up 15%, 20%, and your $1 million becomes 2 chickens and a duck. Well, that's a shit goal you had, didn't you? But if you had a goal of 100 clients, 150 clients, changes the game. I have gone so over 5 minutes, it's not funny, so I failed in my goal. I didn't fail, I had a learning experience. I'm not going to go into the next ones because that's not the purpose, but then we go into planning, contribution, and identity, self-mastery. But guys, this was all about goals. Happy 2023. Get aligned. Choose your goals and keep constructing.